Rabin with the new Summer Lyric and Lore podcast, and I'm here with Donovan Davis, who is in our production of A Chorus Line. How are you, Donovan?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good. So you've been really making such a great contribution to Summer Lyric in the last, how many seasons has it been
It's
now?
been 2 seasons.
So this, including this season?
Yes.
Yeah. So what was your first role with Summer Lyric?
I was in the ensemble of Pippin.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And so were you in any other shows last summer?
Just Pippin. I didn't do any other ones. Just Pippin, yeah.
Okay, that's great. I know Diane is a big fan. Diane Lala. Yeah. And you're going to be in Carousel?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I thought so, right.
Yes.
And so tell me about your character in this show.
Well, in this show,
what's your character's name?
Oh, my character's name is Richie Walters. He's 27. He was born on a full moon in Herculaneum, Missouri. He says that in the show, but he's a very energetic and enthusiastic performer in New York City who gave up his I call it his survival job of being a kindergarten teacher to pursue his love of dance on Broadway. So he says that a lot in the show. He's a really cool and laid back kind of guy. It's fun to play him.
Yeah, and the song is it's not the easiest song in the world to sing, is it?
No, it's not. It's not at all. It takes a lot of breath support as I'm learning. But yes.
That's right. Tell me, how did you get started in musical theater?
My background is primarily in dance. I studied a lot of jazz and ballet. I did tap, but I wasn't extremely talented at it. So I'm very minimal when it comes to tap. But I just always had a love for singing. I started singing. I trained with the New Orleans Boys Honor Corps chorus long time ago. I have a dear friend of mine named Dr. Valerie Francis who would invite me to do she would put together these operatic shows, and she would initially invited me to dance, and then I loved the singing rehearsal. So all of a sudden I was training operatically. So I have a little bit of singing, of training in singing, and I saw I think like Lion King or something, and I was like, this is momentous. This is what I need to be doing. I would love to. And then all the other musicals started to come out together. Like I would see things in New York and I would see things here, and I was like, this is the type of performer I want to be. So that's pretty much that's primarily how I started with my musical theater career.
Yeah, and actually, I'm an acquaintance of Valerie Jones Francis.
Oh, wow,
She's such a well-respected.
Yes.
I know her through talking conversations about African American spirituals, of which she's an expert. Mm-hmm. So she's really, really great.
Yes.
How old were you when you started dancing, like taking dance classes?
I think I was around 13 or 14. I started with a program in partnership with the New Orleans Recreational Department and the New Orleans Ballet Association, and they had like these summer programs, and they would bring these great artists. Like that program was amazing. I was studying with people like Desmond Richardson and Danny Tidwell, and these just amazing artists. And my love for performing just continued to grow. I was in class and I was good at it, so I just kept doing it. I kept coming back. They were like, "Hey, he's pretty good. Let's have him, come back here, take this class." And it just continued to snowball into being a full-fledged ballet dancer.
That is great. Now, you mentioned just now you were in a boys' chorus or a children's chorus?
Yes, I was in the New Orleans Children's Chorus when I was like 8 or 7, and they had a...
Is that with Cheryl Dupont?
Yes,
who directed?
It was Cheryl Dupont.
She's a dear friend.
And Montague.
Drew Montague.
Yes, Drew Montague. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
So we have a whole overlap because
that's
my choral. I'm like a choral musician by trade,
right.
And so I know all those people really, really well. Good folks.
Right.
Good folks. Yeah. So tell me what's it like being in this particular show? Just give me an idea, or the listeners an idea.
Sometimes it's daunting and scary, but it's also very freeing. I feel so liberated in this role because I'm not being told just to stand there and sit there and to do this. I'm able to make, artistic choices. The cast of these consummate professionals are so supportive, like the most supportive I've ever, they are always there. They always have my back. I say they're like, we have really become like a family. And I couldn't ask for anything better. I couldn't ask for, a better experience like this.
That's great. And you've got two people in your proximity that have been involved with this show on the Broadway level.
Yes,
I think
yes.
our musical director, Jose,
Mm-hmm.
I think did the keys for, has done the keys several
Yes,
times,
yes.
maybe on Broadway. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, Michael Paternostro has played one or two or maybe three roles on Broadway or
Yes,
touring over the years. What's that
yes.
like? I guess they must interject lots of
They
firsthand knowledge.
they come with a wealth of knowledge that is really invaluable. Let me tell you. Michael is always helping us with the dance steps. And there's like a trick into our body angles and things like that. And he has brought that, that scientific element. And Jose not only teaches us about the music, but what's behind the music, like what this actually meant. Because I think he actually worked with the composers of the show.
Yeah.
So that added element is just like I said, invaluable. Like I don't think I would have gotten this type of coaching from anywhere else. So it is wonderful to have those two working with us as well.
Yes. And how is it working with? Is this your first time to work with Jeanne?
No, I've worked with Jeanne 3 times. I worked with Jeanne when
Oh,
she was in Pippin. I worked with Jeanne on Jersey Boys recently at Le Petit Theater. And now she is my choreographer director for a chorus line. And Jeanne is just a sweetheart. And she knows what to say and how to get the best out of you. And I love her for that.
yeah,
Like she is just an incredible leader. She wears many hats, and it's
yeah.
it's just wonderful to see how organized and how prepared and how knowledgeable she is. Like she's really great. She's amazing.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. So tonight is orchestra night. Are you? How are
Yes,
you feeling about
I
that?
am so excited because this is everybody's favorite rehearsal because we get to hear the drums, we get to hear the beat, we get to hear like the music is so beautiful. I love I performed the Nutcracker with the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra, and I love how you can hear like the strings kind of become the percussions. Like that always excites me because there's this part in the song that goes dun 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 dun, but it's not the drums, it's the violins, and I think that is just so beautiful. So I'm curious to see what the music is going to sound like, full and robustly on stage. That is very exciting to me.
Yes, absolutely. And then after that, then we go into wah wah wah, the Monday night dress, which
The
is always
costumes,
kind of
yes, yes.
so that's always kind of a touch and
Yeah,
go
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Have you practiced in costumes yet, or Monday night's going to be the first time?
Monday night will be the first time. We practiced with our hats yesterday, which was another added element. And I don't want to tell the story, but I have a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
quick change, so I'm nervous about
Oh,
that. So, but that's really the only thing I'm nervous about. Like, I feel really comfortable in my costume. I wear like regular rehearsal clothes, and it just it's nice to sit there. I call it unmasked, as a dancer would be at an audition or in class. So,
yeah, yeah. This show is interesting because it's not like a narrative play like most of the musicals
right, right.
are, but it's these little vignettes and
Hmm.
everything. Give us an idea of like, I guess, a struggle of your character, something that's kind of like, because Zach always wants to bring out that kind of darker stuff.
Right. I did some research on my character and I found that he doesn't really have like a dark story to tell. So I had to kind of
Yeah.
create one for him. And I feel like he
Okay.
has I feel like he has so much energy and he doesn't really know how to contain it. I feel like that is his struggle. His struggle is, sometimes he has to sit back and regress and become quiet and be a little bit more reserved and not so here I am. I think that is his struggle mostly on the line is trying to reserve his energy, and his anxiety about being, in this process.
Yeah, I like that.
Hmm.
You need creating that backstory, that character.
Yes.
That's really great. What's
Yeah,
your
yeah.
favorite song in the show?
My favorite song in the show is At the Ballet. And it's been my favorite song ever
Oh,
since I've discovered this show. It's so beautiful and so remarkable. And I love the story that it tells. And of course, the crescendo at the end, everybody loves. and
Yeah. Well, but
it's in three
you're
four
going. I'm sorry.
time,
Go. Yeah. Yeah.
which is nice because I like to sway. But and that would be my favorite song. And the actresses who perform it are phenomenal. All three of them really do a great job.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Uh. You just mentioned when you got acquainted with this show. When did you get acquainted with this show?
I
Like
remember
as a child or?
I was at NOCA. I was doing theater at NOCA, at the New Orleans Center for Creative Arts, and
Yeah.
we had to do like it was like a ninth grade preparatory theater program that they had there, and we had to do like the end of the year like we worked in groups and we did like this performance, and these girls put on a song and they started dancing and I heard step, kick, leap, kick, touch. And they did the whole opening number and I said, "Gee, where does that come from? That sounds very interesting." And she was like, "You don't know about a chorus line?" And I was like, "Clearly no." So I went to the library as we had to do back then because now the kids have YouTube and things like that. So I went to the library and I must have like that. It's a DVD. It actually was the movie. They didn't have like a showing of the actual show. So I saw the movie and I was just like blown away. I was like, this is so interesting. And there's a dancer, the guy who plays I'll tell you a funny story. The guy who plays Richie in the movie, his name is Greg Burge. I went to a dance festival and this lady walked up to me and she goes, "Greg." And I was like, "Excuse me?" She was like, "I'm so sorry. You look like Greg." And I immediately knew who she was talking about. And I was like, wow, that was like one of the biggest compliments I ever got is that people, everywhere I went after that, people kept associating me and kept calling me Greg and saying, "Oh, wow, you look like Greg. You remind me of Greg." So I'm thinking he would have been proud that I played his role because I think he played the show on Broadway as well. And I wear that as a badge of honor that people consider me to have his likeliness. So that is my
That's That's great.
yeah.
You just mentioned the whole, people today have YouTube and all that.
Mhm.
To be honest, I would have put you in that age bracket. So you must look younger than you really are
Yes.
because, okay.
I think YouTube came out in 2005, and I was just graduating from high school then. So yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't have that. And then when it did come out, it was very minimal. There weren't a lot of shows because a year later, I remember a revival came out. I think it was a year or two later, and I was like, I've got to get to New York and watch this. I have to see this. I didn't make it, but that was like a big dream of mine to see this show live in the Broadway
Yeah.
Theater.
Nice. You mentioned earlier 3/4 times. So
Mhm.
that I know you've been in choirs. Are you also like a full out musician, read music, the whole thing?
Um, I played piano a little bit, so I know what like the notes and stuff like that. And we had to do music theory in college
Oh
with
yeah.
our composition dance composition classes. So I know a little bit about music theory, as they would say. But I'm always married to dancers are always married to this 3/4 time because it's so flexible and it's so fluid and it has so many possibilities in the way the body wants to move. So it's like you don't see it a lot in pop music, but when I do see it, I have a lot of reverence for it because it's very special to me. So yeah, that sticks out.
Absolutely. Did you major in musical theater when you went to
No, I
college?
majored in dance. I majored in dance at
Oh,
Belhaven University, and
okay.
it's a
That's in Jackson.
Jackson, Mississippi. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, great. And your main focus was like that you said the jazz or ballet. You
Ballet.
said
Yes.
ballet.
Hmm.
Yeah. Wonderful. Are you have lots of people coming to the show
I
this
do.
week?
I do. Everybody is so excited because they really want to hear me sing, and I'm like, oh, I'm so nervous, but I think it's gonna go off smashing. I'm very
It
confident.
is. I remember when on audition day when we were having you sing
Uh-huh.
that song.
Yes.
It's difficult because you've got all the chest voice stuff,
Hmm.
and you have to go woo,
Yes.
up in the
Yes.
head voice and everything.
Right.
And then don't you have to sing the word shit a lot? What's that
Yes.
like?
I say it. I even say it in a line. I think that is Ricky. I think that is Richie's favorite word. So
Absolutely.
it's a nice release. It's a nice way to just calm myself and bring my energy back and just have fun with it. This role is
Yeah.
very free. I will say that.
Yeah, I love that you say that. Do you have anything else to say about the freeing nature of it, or have you already kind of explained what you mean? I know you've said some about it, but
Yeah,
if you had
yeah.
anything else to say, you can certainly add it here.
Well, right now I'm definitely trying to make different choices to see. I'm still experimenting with it because it's summer lyric theater. I know everybody knows we have such little time, but
Yeah.
it is nice that I get to, when we're in rehearsal, I get to experiment and kind of put a lab behind it and see how would Richie do it today, or how would Richie say this today. And I wait for the director's notes to say, hey, you took it too far, and if it's not far enough, I go further. So that is the
I
freeing
like
part, because
that.
most of the times I don't get to do that in most roles. I don't get to, sometimes they're like, this is what I want you to do and concentrate on that. Yes, I captain. So, but this is nice because this is nice because I get to say, I really get to marry myself to the role. I really get to interpret it in a way that I genuinely would if I was auditioning for a show like that.
I love that.
Hmm.
Give us a foreshadowing, if you've even had time to think about it, about what you're going to be
Hmm.
doing in Carousel later in the summer.
In Carousel, I am performing. I think it's called the Carousel, the Carousel Ballet. I know it was
Yeah,
choreographed by, um, is it a Jerome Robbins ballet?
I can't recall right
I
now.
can't recall the choreographer, but I know it. I know it's a very famous ballet. So I will be
Right.
performing the lead in that, which is, which is closer to home because that's primarily where my training is. So I know, and I'm working with Diane, and she's also an amazing dancer, choreographer. She's all of the things. So I'm very excited about that as well.
Yeah, that is such. I was watching the movie recently, and it's
Hmm.
such a beautiful dance, and
Hmm.
so I can't wait to see you in that. That's going to be amazing.
Yes.
So, what is there anything else you would want to share about you or about the show, or just any little thing?
Um, I'm excited about Sitz Probe tonight. I cannot wait to hear 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, and I was also excited about the set. Like when the mirrors came in, that's when it really got
Oh,
real. I was like, oh my goodness, we are really doing this, right?
that's
And
right.
yes, like I am just so excited, and it's just the overpouring of love, and it's nice that
Yeah.
we get to do what we love to do.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And that, like you say, that orchestra is just going to take everything and just kind
Yes,
of like electrify it,
yes, yes,
and it's going to be great. I was
yeah.
talking to, uh, I think the last podcast episode was two of the players.
Hmm.
I think both of which are going to be on this show,
Oh wow.
and also from the Louisiana
Oh
Philharmonic.
wow.
So
Yes.
it's gonna be a strong group like it always is.
Yes, yes.
So I'm very excited. I'll be seeing you out there. I'm going to drop in tonight just
Okay.
to. It's Jose's first time to do it. The orchestra
Right, right, right.
concert,
Hmm.
orchestra night at Summer Lyric. So I
Okay.
just want to be there to kind of support, if
Oh,
I need
wonderful.
to.
Yeah. Well,
So
I look forward
I'm
to
I'm
seeing you
so
there.
excited to yeah, thank you. I'm excited to see you. I'm excited to see the how all
Oh yeah.
things keeping coming together.
Yes,
It's going to be
yes.
great.
Yes.
And thank you for being a part of this
Oh,
podcast. I
thank you all for
I
having me.
plan to sure I plan to release it on opening day,
Okay.
opening night. So that'll be something else people can see and just get more excited about
Right, right.
coming to see the show. So
Yay. Please
thank
come
you,
and see it. Oh,
Donovan.
thank you so much, Leonard. It's been an amazing experience to do this.